Hey folks, Rich here at RCINFORMER. Today I have a really sweet airplane to show you coming from DragonHobbyUSA.com. This is the HSD 90mm Viper jet. Very impressive receiver-ready airplane. I'm having lots of fun with this model in all phases, from building to setup to flying this airplane. It's a total piece of cake. I'm having fun with it. It flies really fast. It also slows down to a crawl with the flaps. And it's just very impressive to fly on pavement and on grass. It's definitely a good grass field jet. Now, to give you a quick overview of the airplane, it is all EPO foam. It's a receiver-ready airplane, so all you have to do is put your receiver and 6-cell battery in it, a 6-channel receiver, and you're ready to go. Now, the EPO on this airplane has such a nice finish to it. At HSD, they're going great lengths to make nice, smooth, almost non-foam-like finishes to all the airplane with all the paint and decals already applied. Now, my airplane's a little bit beat up. I had it at Ceph, beat it up there. I've been flying it off of grass quite a bit, and it's quite a resilient airplane. Now, assembling this airplane when you get it to box is all screws. It's pretty much a glueless design. Getting your wing on takes 4 screws, 2 on each side. The wings plug in with an aluminum tube that joins the two together, and there's no wires. As I'm going to show you up here on the screen, there's simply some bullet connectors on the wings that actually, when you plug your wings in, it actually joins together with bullet connectors your wingtip light, aileron flaps, your retractable landing gear. So it makes it really easy to assemble and disassemble when you're transporting and going to and from the flying field. Tail goes on with just about 2 screws for your elevator and 4 for your rudder, and you just run your wires up front, and then you join your receiver and your battery to it, and the plane is ready to go. Now, driving this thing is a 1550 kV brushless outrunner with a 10-blade 90mm all composite fan with a really fantastic sound. As you can hear, it just really sounds like just a spectacular jet, which you'll hear here in the flight demo. Driving that is a 100 amp ESC, and then there is also an onboard separate BEC to drive all 11 servos that are mounted in this thing. Now, all 11 servos are all digital and metal gear servos as well. All the linkages are already installed. All the servos are already put in place. So again, you just add your receiver and battery and you're good to go. Now, the cockpit, to show you inside here, cockpit comes off real easy with this little latch here, and you lift your canopy right off. Tongue and groove up front, latch mechanism in the back. Your pilot seats come right out, although it's a good idea to tape those in place so they don't get pulled in by the vacuum. But lots of detail on the canopy. Mine's a little beat up because it has been out in the sun, but really, really nice canopy. Now, to show you guys inside, I'm going to lift this up and sort of maneuver it for Pete to kind of film here so you guys can get a better idea, and I can kind of point out what's going on with it. Start in the back here, your 6-cell battery just mounts all the way as full back as you can go with it. It's a 5,000 milliamp pack I'm running in there. And you can see right here, it has a nice padded battery floor, so the battery doesn't slide around in there. Brand new Retract controller board right here that sequences all of your doors with your retractable landing gear. Simple 6-channel receiver I have plugged in right there with my second antenna just taped there, and all of your other functions plug right into this mixing board. And you can see it's a very simple layout here. Now, the canopy goes right on with the tongue and groove here and latches real nicely in place, and then you're ready to kind of go out to the flying field with it. Now, the underside of the airplane is very impressive. I'm going to go ahead and pick this thing up right now and let Pete take a look at the underside of this thing. Really nice, smooth foam finish. HSD has gone to great lengths to make it almost seem like it's not foam, and you can see how clean the underside of this airplane is. Start at the back, 2 screws for a hatch to get your into your fan unit. 1 hatch right here to get to your electronic speed controller, and then underneath the wing here, lots to talk about with this thing. You can see all your rods, horns, servos, everything's pre-installed. Retracts are pre-installed, and your retracts themselves, if Pete can zoom in on this, all metal, not just the trunnion, but the strut and the mechanism itself is all metal. Even the wheel hubs are all metal. Really nice foam wheels and really good suspension, whether you're operating on grass or whether you're operating on pavement. You have really good suspension on this thing. Now, to show you how the retracts work on this thing, I'll go ahead and retract them all for you. You see how nicely those doors open up? Everything goes in, and then the sequencer closes all your doors, And you can see how clean the underside of this airplane is, which explains why it's fast and efficient. It's really a nice setup and really nicely engineered at the factory. Lots of cooling holes all the way around to cool off everything. But really clean underside of the airplane. Now I'll go ahead and extend the landing gear for you. And you can see how nicely all the doors open up first. The retracts come in, and then your center doors close to keep them off the grass from getting snagged on the ground, any grass runways you might be flying off of. But really, really nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and point this thing at Pete, and hopefully he can show you the landing lights. It has a really nice two bright landing lights on the nose, and then the wingtip lights, red and green. Really are pretty spectacular, even during the broad daylight. But when it gets to be overcast and you have a sort of a dusk out or a twilight, it really shows up quite nicely. Now I'll get this thing on the ground, have Pete kind of focus on the wings there. And I'll go ahead and extend the flaps for you there. I have a takeoff setting in there and a landing setting as well. And it really helps with slowing down the airplane and of course taking off in a shorter distance. Anyway guys, really spectacular airplane. Has a fantastic jet sound. It is just a wonderful looking airplane. And with that guys, let's get it out to the runway and give you a flight demo of the HSD 90mm Viper jet from DragonHobbyUSA.com. All right, guys, quick flight control check. We'll taxi the 90mm Viper jet out. This plane has a really nice sound. Set one setting of flaps for takeoff. You can see that this is actually a very good grass field jet. I have a few elevator rates set in for taking off on grass. High rate for the grass, taking off, and then a lower rate in flight. Line it up here, and away we go. Easing back on that stick, and it comes right up. Flaps are up, gears coming up. Powering back just a little bit to conserve some battery power here. And I'm going to give Pete sort of a slow pass here, full flaps. So you can see the slow speed performance of this thing. It'll fly nice and slow. I'll take it here around in just a circle, nice and slow. So you really get it slowed down a bit. See how docile it is. It's relatively calm out here. We're getting a little gust here and there. But you can see how nice this plane flies slowly. Flaps are coming up, power's coming in. Going vertical with it, and you can see it has quite a bit of power. It'll really kind of get itself around. Let the nose fall. Bringing in some power here. And this thing, what this thing does really great is it just flies fast. I'm going to go to a lower elevator rate now for the speed. Bring it in low and fast here. You can see how ultra stable this thing is. Nice and smooth. Very crisp. Point roll here, Pete. You see how precise and how crisp it is. I have a pretty high rate into the ailerons, just so I can get some quick roll rate out of it. Bring it in fast here again. Lots of speed, lots of power out of this. All right, guys, I'll give you an inverted pass with it here right in the center. Rolling it upside down. This thing is really smooth inverted, as you can see. Just flies fantastic. Lots and lots of energy with this airplane. High speed pass down the runway again. Simply awesome, full throttle. I'll pull up here for a half Cuban 8. Back to the center, rolling crisp into the middle. Adding some power. Half Cuban 8 at the other end. Just really impressed with how this airplane flies. Very smooth. I'll get into some, I'll come into the center here nice and fast again. I'll break away into some steep turns. Right out front. It's full throttle in there, folks. Very impressive how smooth this plane flies. Going vertical with it. Again, rolling it around, coming back on the power, just letting it fall, just tail sliding it around. Rolling at wings level here and pitching out. Overall, just a great airplane to fly. Those blended winglets do make it very, very efficient, so you actually get a pretty decent flight time out of this thing. Bring it by at sort of a moderate speed here. Power's about half throttle here. Very docile, very fun to fly, folks. Flies great off of grass also. Give you a point roll here. Very crisp. Very nice performance with this. All right, another high-speed pass, and we will probably bring this thing on in. Getting low and fast again, banking into the screen here. Just love the way this flies. Some more rolls with it. Lots of fun. Just can't get over how fun this thing is to fly. Banking into the center again. All right, one more high-speed run down the runway just because it's just fun to do. Fun, fun, fun. And with that, we will bring it in. Flaps are coming in, gears are coming down. See those doors opening, wheels coming down. You do want to bring this in with some power, but it lands at a decent speed. Not too fast, not too slow. Coming back about half throttle here. A little bit hot, so I'm slowing it up here. Flaring and touching down. There we go. Just outstanding. Great on a runway, but I tell you, on the grass, and this grass hadn't been cut here in a while, it handles it quite nicely. Now you can also see, pointing straight at you, you can see even in broad daylight, you can see those the landing lights on the nose wheel, nose strut, and the wingtip lights. Just really phenomenal airplane, guys. Again, this is the HSD 90mm Viper jet. This one's coming from Dragon Hobby, so check it out there. All right, guys, that pretty much concludes this flight demo video on the HSD 90mm Viper jet from DragonHobbyUSA.com. As you can see from that flight demo, it's just a really nice flying airplane. Lots of power, really great vertical performance, handles aerobatics and inverted flight great, slows down to a crawl when you want to come in and land or just do slow flight with it. Nice point rolls and everything. Just very impressive model overall. This is kind of one of those planes that I'll probably be out of the field with quite a bit. Builds real easy, sets up real easy, and just flies fantastic. Anyway, guys, check this plane out at DragonHobbyUSA.com. Thanks for watching RC Informer, and as always, guys, we'll see you next time.